The night the king called for me, I knew something was wrong. Because I was not choosing to serve, I was choosing to be tested. The prince had warned me, never let any man touch you. But he didn't tell me that the first man who would try would be his father.
There was once a girl named Shyla, a girl the world had forgotten. She lived in a small village where the sun was harsh and life was even harsher. Every morning, before the birds finished their song, Shyla was already awake. Not because she wanted to be, but because survival had no patience. Her mother was sick, very sick. And in a place where money was scarce, love alone was not enough to keep someone alive. So Shyla worked, not for comfort, not for dreams, but for hope. She carried baskets on her head, walked through dusty paths, and stood for hours in the market, just to earn enough to keep her mother breathing one more day. But her mother knew something Shyla did not, that poverty was not the greatest danger. One morning, as sunlight entered their small hut, her mother held her hand and gave her a warning. Not about hunger, not about suffering, but about desperation. Because desperation has a way of changing people. It can make the innocent compromise, and the strong forget who they are. And so she told her, no matter what opportunity comes, no matter how hard life becomes, do not lose yourself trying to survive. Shyla listened. She believed her, but she did not yet understand. Because that same day, everything changed. The market was loud, filled with voices, dust, and heat. Shyla stood there, calling out to strangers, hoping someone would stop, hoping someone would care. But then, the crowd went silent, not gradually, instantly, because the prince had arrived, the kind of man people only saw from a distance, the kind of man who never noticed girls like Shyla, but that day, he noticed her. He looked at her, not with pity, but with something she could not explain, and then he said something that would change her life forever. He told her she did not belong there, that a girl like her should not be struggling under the sun, and before she could understand what was happening, he offered her something no one had ever offered her before, a place in the palace. That evening, Shyla stood outside her small home, holding everything she owned in one small cloth. A royal carriage waited for her, something she had never imagined would ever stop at her door. But her mother was not smiling, because she understood something Shyla did not, that palaces are not always places of safety. Sometimes they are places of testing. And as Shyla left, she carried more than her belongings. She carried a promise. The palace was everything she imagined and nothing she expected. It was beautiful, but it was cold. The floors shined, but the people did not. From the moment she arrived, eyes followed her. Whispers surrounded her, and though she had done nothing wrong, she was already disliked. Because the prince had chosen her. And in places like that, being chosen is enough to make you a target. Then one evening, the prince called her aside. Not to command her, not to question her, but to give her something. A necklace. Not ordinary, not simple, but royal. He placed it on her neck himself and told her never to remove it. She didn't understand why. She didn't understand what it meant. But others did, and that was when the hatred began. There was a girl in the palace who had waited years for what Shyla received in a moment. Her name was Wantara, and when she saw the necklace, something inside her broke, because she knew what it meant, even though Shyla did not. And from that day, she made a decision. If she could not have the future she wanted, then Shyla would not have it either. But Wantara was not the greatest danger. The greatest danger had not yet spoken. Because in that same palace, there was a king, a man with power, a man with authority, and a man who always got what he wanted. And one evening, he noticed Shyla, not as a servant, but as something else, something he desired. That night, a message came for her, not from a servant, not from the prince, but from the king. he had summoned her, alone. And in that moment, Shyla understood something terrifying: that being chosen is not always a blessing. Sometimes it is a test, and sometimes it is a trap. And as she walked toward the king's chamber, her heart whispered a prayer. God, do not let me lose myself.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, I beg subscribe, like, and share, because the next episode, it go shock you.